The Jaguar XF sedan is a classic-looking machine with performance that will tempt enthusiasts from buying a more practical family car. Well, now you can have your cake and eat it too. A phrase I've never understood, with the XF Sportbrake. Another phrase that will confuse Americans, so let's just call it a station wagon. Some will shun this body style, but those with a need to haul kids and cargo could do a lot worse than being seen in something this sleek. Now, when we auto riders get together in our secret lair and don our smoking jackets, a popular topic of conversation is, why isn't this body style wildly popular? Apparently, to be an automotive rider, you must love station wagons. Full disclosure, I've owned 5 of them. Now, I am not trying to talk you into any kind of vehicle. My job is to simply expose you to choices that are excellent. And there are more long-roof vehicles out there than one might think. In this size, the Buick Regal Touareg is the most affordable. Volvo has the V60 and V90. The Mercedes E-Class wagon is the only one left with the rear-facing third row. Jag fans could buy an F-Pace, but this makes a unique statement, and I'll argue that crossovers are just tall wagons. It's easier to load roof racks on these. There, I've said my piece. Like all Jaguars, XF is built on a structure rich in light, strong aluminum. Notice the heartbeat pulse on the start button? It's just like Jag to create theater in its cars. The show continues as the 3-liter supercharged V6 comes to life with 380 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. Driving modes allow pilots to choose how relaxed or edgy they want their Jag to be at any given time. The only gearbox is an 8-speed automatic, but for shifting manually, the XF has you covered. For now, this cat claws the road exclusively with all-wheel drive that has a rear-drive bias. Weight, of course, is very important to performance. Both F-Pace and Sportbrake weigh about 4,300 pounds. It takes a moment for power to build, but the XF can move. Doing 0 to 60 runs in a neighborhood is a bad idea, but I can tell you that the XF does it in about 5.5 seconds, so performance is not an issue, but engine growl is. This is a very tepid sounding Jaguar. It certainly does deliver in the curves when pushed hard, though. The steering is well weighted, not too light or heavy. Body roll is kept to a minimum, and it does all of this without a harsh ride. Remember, wagons have a lower center of gravity than SUVs and crossovers, so they are inherently more fun to fling into a corner. So if handling is your thing, don't skip a run in this rig when at the dealership test driving the F-Pace, okay? A lot of cars these days have fuel-saving automatic engine start-stop systems, so does the Jag. Lift your foot off the brake, and it automatically restarts, kind of abruptly in this case. Fortunately, it can be turned off. On specified premium petrol, XF Sportbrake is rated by the EPA at 18 miles per gallon city, 25 highway, and an average of 21. That's a couple mpgs less than the XF sedan, a couple more than the F-Pace with the same engine. The interior design has a reserved British air about it, nothing wild happening in here. The crisp look might be seen as plain to some. Hardware feels solid, stitching is perfect. Would love for the window controls to switch positions with the memory settings that don't get used all that much. The seats are too wide and flat to hold my 5'9" frame securely during hard cornering. They'll suit larger drivers much better. Nice that hands will be toasty. JLR's InTouch user interface looks great. There are times the response is on the sluggish side, and some controls are a little deeper in the menu than I'd like. There is no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if that's a deal breaker. For the parking challenged, this Jag will do it for you if the driver's assistance package is ordered. So, Evil Twin, what's your opinion on station wagon? I'm not going to go there. I'm just a backseat specialist. Besides, I'm not allowed in the secret layer. But back to my job, there's a lot of knee and leg room. Foot room is good too. I forgot my sunglasses, very nice. Dual climate zones plus heated outboard seats are an option your friends and family will appreciate. There are even 2 power ports, so that won't be an issue. The drive shaft tunnel is on the bigger side, and like the front, these seats are pretty flat, but space is generous. 2 adults can lounge well back here. 3 will be fine if the trip to the secret layer isn't too long. Yes, the cargo hold of the F-Pace is a little bit larger than the Sportbrake with the seats up, but only by a couple cubic feet, so don't let that stop you. The tailgate is kicked to open, forgot to show that, and the rear gets a self-leveling air suspension. The security shade is easily removable, but not easily storable. There are all the trunk accoutrements one would expect in an upscale long-roof vehicle. Not all cars are getting these nowadays, though a reminder, make sure you know how to change a tire. No need to open up the rear doors or reach way in to drop the seats. Here's a surprise, the space is slightly larger than the F-Pace when the seat backs are folded down, and hauling long things is easy peasy. The rear end of the Sportbrake is mighty roomy. The F-Pace takes on 8 packs. The XF scores even better at 9. Wagons, however useful they may be, are not at the top of everyone's list, and the starting price of $71,445 will keep this one out of reach for many who might want it. Optioned up with lots of extras, this example goes for about 80 grand. All Jaguars now have a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty that includes all scheduled maintenance and roadside assistance, so that helps the cost of ownership. XF Sportbrake is a good option for people who love driving, need practicality, and crave individuality. Considering that wagons are not a mainstream segment anymore, it's funny that whenever I have one, a higher than usual number of people approach me and ask about the one I'm driving. The XF is no exception. Apparently, people who like station wagons don't buy cars, it would seem. You stuck around to the very end, you have earned a fun fact. Station wagon, where does the term come from? Well, back in the day, it was the kind of vehicle that took your luggage from the train station to the hotel, the station's wagon. Shooting brake? Well, the shooting part comes from, it was the type of vehicle that British hunters prefer, for easy access to their guns. The brake part, a little bit more fuzzy. Going way, way back, it was a kind of carriage that was used to brake an ornery horse, or the Dutch term breek, B-R-I-K, or simply the brake angle of the back end. Shooting brake, it's a British term. These are the people that say aluminium and Jaguar. All right, don't savage me in the comments. I kid because I love. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.